Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Reading for the sign of Leo. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. And that is exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's reading, Leo. We're going to be pulling some cards to take a look at an area of focus that your soul is highlighting for you at this time. We'll dive a little deeper into that area of focus by going ahead and pulling some additional clarifier cards. We'll look at a block or a challenge in that area of focus. We'll look at advice from spirit as to how to overcome that block. And then we will look at a level of a physical abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you on the other side. And in addition to that, as I'm pulling these first cards for anyone who's interested in a personal reading to gain more clarity, light, and illumination to an area that you could use those things in, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website to see a list of my services. I also thank you so much for watching this video. It means the world to me. Okay, so right off the bat, Leo, we have the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. This is the energy that you're sitting with, that you're coming into the reading with. And now for some of you, this could literally mean that you are pregnant or are about to give birth. The Ace of Wands is the potential for inspiration. It can be also conception of an idea, conception of a child. But there's also a feeling here of almost like a fresh spark. Especially with the Wheel of Fortune, I kind of look at this as like a tinderbox almost. Like someone has come in with a little bit of something highly flammable and you're bringing your wand or your matchstick to that lit. And there's this sense of the timing is now or something is about to take hold. In your external environment, or what your soul is highlighting for you right now, is the Lovers. For some of you, there literally could be a realization that, again, for those of you who are maybe in a relationship, that you are finding out you're pregnant. It could also be that you are really, that there might be a spark of inspiration towards what you love. The Lovers doesn't always have to mean a romantic relationship. It can mean that we are choosing, we're making a choice to follow our heart towards what we love. Now, at the bottom of the deck, your main underlying energy is the Tarot with the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords underneath. There is somewhat of, the Tower represents a shakeup in our life, when something has come in and either knocked our internal walls down that we had built, that were protecting some aspect of our emotional self, or a tower we have physically built around us that at one point had been a sense of safety and security, but has been turned into something that is keeping us kind of held back. So that could be like staying in a job far too long that is no longer beneficial to us. That could be like staying in a relationship that is no longer beneficial to us. It could be staying in a home that we've outgrown. Kind of fill in the blank there. But with underneath that, with the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords coming in, there's a sense for many of you of getting to the truth of some element within your own life story. The Queen of Swords is someone who can say it like it is. She kind of gets to the cold, hard truth of a matter. And it's more pertaining to your own situation, where all of a sudden there can be this reality check within ourselves to say, this is what I've gone through. This is what I've overcome. This is kind of the story and the evolution of my journey to this point. And I feel like for many of you, in getting to that point, it led you to really make a deep internal decision, something that you might have sat with for some time. The High Priestess is when we get to tap into that intuitive, internal, spirit-connected self, where we really know what we know. And there's an element of sometimes when we make a decision based on that feeling, where it can be where we realize suddenly that we love somebody and that we are in love with them, and deep within we know that this is the one for us. It can be the opposite. It can be where there's been an internal shift and you realize deep within yourself that this is the individual that I can't spend the rest of my life with, or there's a deep internal knowing of all of a sudden I can no longer keep working at a job I am not inspired by. It's that kind of energy. And I think for many of you, there's this realization of this deep intuitive knowing that is now bringing a tower down, that there's something that cannot hold as it has been. And for some of you, it can be that you may be finding out that you have conceived a child or are about to conceive a child. And there's that sense of maybe shaking things up, that there's this realization of, wow, this is something I've really wanted. It could even be for some of you, this could be a realization of something that you want. So it could be the realization that the time is now. I would love to get pregnant. I would love to follow my heart in that way. I'd love to find a relationship that would allow this to happen. But there is a sense kind of time is now, time is ticking with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Wands. It's almost like either an idea has come in, or that feeling of my clock is ticking and I want to start a family, or it's time to start this business. And suddenly something that you love is coming very clearly into focus for many of you. Now I'm going to dive a little deeper here, and we're going to see why the lovers are being highlighted here for you in this reading. Let's see what's coming in for you, Leo. Now keep in mind, these readings are timeless. So you could be taking a look at something that has already happened in your life, and maybe there's a pertinent development that is happening. I often find that when I watch readings myself. And this could be something that may just be starting, or you may be in the middle of it. But I do feel that we go through cycles kind of over and over again, where we build on the lessons, and we build on the experiences of the past, and often they kind of come back in for us to review. Now you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Tower again as your main challenge. Now the Queen of Pentacles is someone who, this can be kind of the mother archetype. She's very patient. She's very focused in what she's looking to grow. She can also be, it's Capricorn energy. So just someone who is very goal oriented, and they understand that anything worth putting time and energy towards is worth having when you understand that it could take a long time, or it takes that patience, or that it takes that extra level of attention and energy. And for some of you, this literally could be finding out that you're a parent. This definitely could be, a mother card coming into your life. And that could be what is bringing the tower down, where it's this realization of, oh my gosh, wow, I want to be a parent. I really want to open my heart, or I really want to open my experience to that. Coming from my own perspective of having a child later in life, I've definitely experienced that, where it's that deep internal knowing all of a sudden of, wow, I never thought I really wanted to have kids. And suddenly it's kind of tearing down those walls around yourself to say, I used to think I wanted to be single and do nothing but travel and be, not tied down. And suddenly there's this knowing. And that's what brings down maybe a certain level of security in your life, that you realize, I can live without a little bit of that, or I can shake things up a bit. Now, this could also be, if this is not pertaining specifically to being a parent or motherhood, this could be where you have this deep internal knowing around getting a fresh connection to inspiration. This could be a business idea, or it could even be like an invention or something like that comes into your mind, and you're like, oh my God, I need to pursue this. I see what this could grow into. It's almost that sense of realizing, I get this feeling of like, the time is now. I need to do this. If I don't get to do it, I'm missing out in some capacity. And it could be where all of a sudden you get this inspiration. You're like, oh my gosh, I can no longer go to my 9 to 5 because this is keeping me up at night. All I can do is think about this new product, or this new business, or this book I want to write. Okay, then we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune again as your final card over here. All right, so a lot of repeat cards. We also have the Princess of Swords at the bottom of the deck as your second underlying energy, and that is the energy of staying curious. That is someone who is ready to gather more information. They're kind of watching. There's a sense of kind of standing back a little bit with the Page of Swords, someone who is observing so that they can gain a little bit more truth and clarity into the situation they're looking into. So there's definitely a little bit of that going on for many of you Leos right now. Now, the heart of your reading is the moon. And this is what Spirit's really asking you to embrace, to really help you overcome. I think for some of you, allowing this tower to come down and allowing you to have the freedom to move into the Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, which is beautiful. The Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, this is saying success is right around the corner. The Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Wands is recognition. It is being seen by others for having done a job well done. It can also be where we are really standing up in that sense of courage, where we are maybe doing something that gets the attention of other people, puts us in the limelight. People are like, wow, I didn't think you were ever going to do that, or I would never have thought about that. That's amazing, that kind of thing. And the Wheel of Fortune coming in again is saying, the time is now. This is kind of a ripe timing cycle for many of you. And the moon, being at the heart of your reading, this is a difficult, sometimes this can be that kind of scary stopping point, because the moon means that the way forward is unclear. It means that we're feeling the pull to leave a comfort zone, as you can see this lobster here being called by the pull of the moon out of his natural habitat of the water and onto dry land. And for many of us, when we feel that call to leave a comfort zone or to do something that's a little outside of our normal, or that takes us out of our tower, that can be very scary, especially when the way is shadowy and unclear because we're walking in the moonlight. But this is also stating that when we feel that call, just like the High Priestess, it's because our soul is trying to draw us out, trying to continue us on our path towards more of what I like to call our spiritual potential, where we all have a path, and that path can be longer than others, but we can get to that point where sometimes we stop along that path. And we're given options to move forward at our own pace. Kind of what I like to say is, we have our destiny, but Spirit likes to let us, or the universe likes to let us meet that destiny in our own time and way. But sometimes when we decide that we're not going to move and we're a little stuck, the universe comes in with these kind of intuitive flashes, these hits, this idea that comes out of nowhere that suddenly you can't. It's like seeing something that you can't unsee, or knowing something you can no longer go back to not knowing. And that's often when we have faith and we kind of surrender to that, it breaks us out of this kind of self-imposed lockdown in the tower, and it frees us to pursue success in the right timing. And with the Lovers coming in, this is definitely either around, maybe if for those of you that this is around the realization that you want to have a child, this could definitely be bringing in the right soulmate for you, if that's something that you're pursuing at the moment. This could also be bringing you closer to not only just love with a partner, but the love of a child as well. But if this is, let's say, around an idea or a passion project, this could also be bringing you success in what you love and learning how to lead from what your heart is calling you to follow. Okay. This is a very interesting reading, Leo. Definitely is leading, the Six of Wands is your card, Leo, in the tarot. That's why you see the little lion in the background there. So there's a sense of really kind of stepping into that energy of being seen, but getting that success, or getting that recognition and success from doing what comes naturally to you, Leo, because you rule the heart. And there's that sense here of really following your heart, having the courage to do so. And when you do, that's where that success and recognition in an area that you've been maybe long hoping to achieve in is going to come in for you. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Five of Swords. So for many of you, there might be this sense of kind of pushing. It's like, I want to become a parent, but no, I can't. Or I really want to build this business and I really want to nurture it. I want to grow this opportunity into something more. And with the Five of Swords, there's the kind of, I like to look at it as, in a spiritual sense, us sticking our fingers in our ears and saying, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. Can't happen. Don't try to convince me. And sometimes that can be, because we're not ready. We're not ready to see the truth. We're not ready to see how this can happen. Yeah, and with the Six of Wands, there's definitely something here around this Queen of Pentacles being tied up around success. There's almost a sense of pushing away success. That in your heart or in your mind, you feel that the nurturing of something would make you feel successful, would make you feel like you have achieved kind of that hero's welcome. I've come so far, I've done so much, and this is what I want to be seen for, or seen for having created for myself, be that a family, be that a business, be that maybe even getting into, it can be anything. The Ace of Wands can literally hold the potential for, a major, not only just a passion project, but it could be where you get back into a sport or a hobby that becomes something you're well known for. But for many of you, you are pushing that away. Five of Swords says, no, that can't happen. No, even though I want to be seen for having achieved this, it won't happen. It can't happen. Let's see about this Tower. Definitely want to see more about this Tower. Okay, yeah, Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords speaks to a quick, fast message. This could be someone who comes in and kind of truth bombs you a little bit. This could be somebody literally coming in and saying, I'm pregnant. And you're like, whoa, what? And then the walls come down. Maybe you've been like, no, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to be a parent. Okay, fine. I'm just going to live my life with that, even though I'm sitting here with this energy of wanting something and feeling something. And then suddenly somebody comes in and says, we're pregnant. Or you find out that you're pregnant. This could also be where someone comes in and says, hey, that business you've really wanted for a long period of time, that idea you have, well, hey, I'd love to help you. And suddenly somebody comes in out of left field and just says that. And you're like, wait, what? But there's definitely an element of somebody delivering a piece of information, or you learning a truth, because all of a sudden then we have the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Cups. There's a sense for many of you of having walked away. You're walking away from a certain level of illusion or the possibility where you've been kind of stuck for a while in maybe this would be better, maybe that would be better, maybe this person will be better. Because the Seven of Cups speaks to opportunity for emotional happiness and connection or fulfillment, but it can also be where we get lost in those options, where we're too busy kind of thinking, well, what if there's something better around the corner? What if I choose that job, but this one's actually better? What if I commit to this person and there's a better person, down the line? And suddenly with this information that's come in, Leo, with this Knight of Swords, there's a sense of, with the Eight of Cups, walking away from the Seven of Cups. That there's a sense of having decided. There's a sense of, I always get with the Eight of Cups that there is, not only between the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Cups, there's an implied Ace of Cups, kind of like a new, fresh connection to love or an opportunity for the growth of a relationship. But I always see the Eight of Cups as the individual who's realized, even though I have filled 8 cups with my emotional investment, it's not enough for me because I don't have someone to share it with. And I know that's not always the normal interpretation of this, or the original interpretation of this card, but that's what I see. I see the person leaving in search of the Two of Cups, which is matched partnership or support, vulnerability between two people who are evenly matched. And so this person is going out to look for that. They may come back to the Eight of Cups at some point with another person to share it with, but as it stands, it's not enough. And so I think for many of you, there might have been that realization of, okay, I'm leaving behind the sense of the grass could be greener someplace else, and I'm leaving to pursue that intimate connection. I'm letting the tower burn down. Maybe some of you are opening your heart and you're ready to connect intimately with somebody. So we have the Moon. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune again. Okay, so you officially have the Wheel of Fortune 3 times on the board. Wheel of Fortune and Two of Swords. Here's the indecision. Two of Swords is that waffling energy. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Kind of one foot in, one foot out. The Wheel of Fortune says, we don't always, opportunities come around again. So I never think that like if we don't take an opportunity that we might not get a similar opportunity down the line, because what is ours is never meant to be withheld. It's just for, again, it's kind of like a double dutch. Like, are you ready to jump in now, or do you need a few more times to go? But there can be this sense sometimes when everything lines up. And when the Tower comes in like this twice with the Wheel of Fortune, it's saying this isn't just about the right time, Leo. This is about realizing that you've been stuck for a while, and there's a great opportunity now to kind of almost like make up for lost time. When you get this many Wheels of Fortune and you get the Tower, it's almost like that's an implied knowledge that you've outstayed your welcome somewhere, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a job or a career path, or just a way of being, maybe where you've been living. Maybe you got stuck in that place where you've been single for a long time and you convinced yourself you're just never going to meet a person, that you're the right partner. And suddenly there's this realization of, but that's what I want. I really want to have a child and to have that, connection with another person. And maybe someone comes in. I mean, this could be somebody coming in and sharing, this could be even somebody saying, I love you. And you're like, wait, what? And it's like the realization of, oh my gosh, I can walk away from all of the excuses I made for myself why I couldn't do something. And suddenly I'm ready to commit. But then there's that scary element of, but what if it doesn't work out? Now, it could be the same thing with a work environment. If this is just inspiration in general, like a new business idea, this could be where somebody comes in and says, I'd love to help you. Where can I start? Or when can I start? And you're like, oh my gosh, well, instead of me trying to, maybe I could do it, maybe I could take it here or do this idea this way. Suddenly you realize, I'm just going to take this person up and they're going to be my business partner. And I'm going to face my fear of, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be successful. But I also know deep within intuitively that I've been stuck too long just thinking about this, just feeling the need to do it. It's time for me to face it. And the courage here, facing that unknown, is what's going to bring you that success and recognition. When we have that, when we feel the fear and we do it anyways, that's when we get the reward in our life. So let's see here. Let's see about the Six of Wands and success and recognition and all those good things that come with that card. But yeah, there is definitely an implication here that you've been stuck for a while, kind of pushing away something you really have wanted to be successful in, or something you've wanted to achieve. And suddenly in your heart of hearts, the time is now. Okay, so we have the Devil that came out face up. You have 3 cards that came out face down. We have the Chariot, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Queen of Wands. So for many of you, the devil is what holds us back. The devil is, now these can be addictions, these can be patterns of behavior where we kind of self-sabotage. It can also be where it's the actual, the flip. Oh, almost sneezed. Okay. It could be the flip side of the Lovers, where something that starts out as something we love then becomes the thing that holds us back. Now, that can be a relationship we've stayed in too long. It can be clinging to a job, again, that we have long outgrown. It can be chaining ourselves even to the concept that we can't grow in an area that we would love to. So there's a sense of having success over something that has long held you back. And it could just be fear. It could be just literally facing fear. And that's been the thing that's held you back. Because with the Chariot, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Wands, this is the energy of forward momentum. The Chariot is moving towards home. It's getting back into the driver's seat of our life. And the Knight of Cups is someone who has gone on the romantic quest. They are someone with rose-colored glasses on. They're optimistically going out there, holding kind of their heart on their sleeve, and they're waiting to greet and meet life from that vantage point. And the Queen of Wands is someone who is a fiery, passionate individual. Now, this could represent a Pisces and Aries dynamic. That's definitely these two individuals here, but it can also be where just the archetypes of these two people, where the Queen of Wands is that person who just shows up as they are. They enter the room and everybody turns to look. They're also the individual who I like to say blooms where they're planted, because through showing up as they are, kind of unapologetically, they draw people and experiences and events towards them that allow them to create for themselves the life that they want no matter where they are. And I think for some of you, there's a sense of stepping into this energy, that whatever it is happening here, once you kind of feel the fear and make the decision to do it, here comes the energy of getting into the chariot, and there's the forward momentum. There's finally facing what's been holding you back for a long period of time and moving towards possibly a relationship between, someone who's very open-hearted and someone who is really fiery and passionate. And that could be a fun relationship. It could also be where you're ready to kind of go out there yourself and be seen in that capacity. So let's see here. All right, so here's the Queen of Swords again. So we have the Queen of Swords and the Tower over here. Now we have the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So it's saying with the Queen of Swords, it's time to be very clear on your truth, on what you've learned, what you've gone through and survived. And with the Magician, for some of you, sometimes I see this as someone who could actually become a public speaker around sharing of their story, like being able to heal other people through the sharing of what they've gone through. It can also be, though, where you just reconnect with your own inner magician. It could also be that the Magician could represent a Gemini in your life, and there could be some truth around an individual who represents the Magician card. But I think for many of you, it's more about the realization of your own magic, of what you bring. And there's kind of, I think, this like hard truth of realizing that. And that's what's helping you face the fear of choosing to do something now and realizing I've maybe sidestepped this for a long time, but I can't ignore anymore what I'm feeling, this little flame burning within me. I can't let that flame go out. I can't let another year pass me by or another opportunity pass me by, because I realize after looking at my life, it's me that brings the magic. It's me that, it's not a circumstance. It's not me waiting, like the Seven of Cups. It's not me waiting for the right person to come to me, or me waiting for the right job to come to me, or me waiting for, it's saying, no, I have to go out there. The magic starts from within. I'm the one that has to be the initiator in this experience. There's definitely that sense of initiating something here. Now, if there are some of you where this isn't maybe directly related to a child or maybe like a business idea, this could be that for some of you, it could be about becoming a public speaker or getting into a place where you could teach others about what you've learned from this experience or in your experience, where you've maybe had to go through something difficult in your life. And there's this realization of, yeah, it's time for me to share this. It's time for me to maybe, the devil here could be where you're afraid of public speaking. Maybe you're afraid of being seen by others, which could be the Queen of Wands. And there's a sense of really allowing yourself, maybe, this very possibly could be to kind of step out into the limelight for some of you. Bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Swords. So this is your third underlying energy. And I think there's a reason why for so many of you, you kind of held back for a while or got to this place with the Tower, because it was something that was very emotionally wounding for you. Whether this was maybe staying in a job for too long because there was this intense fear around maybe not having enough money or losing a job, or maybe you'd been in a bad work environment beforehand. This is relationship based. This could be where you had been in a really bad relationship, or a relationship that ended really poorly and you just didn't want to go through that again. Or you could have gone through something very difficult in your life where there was just wounding in general, losing a loved one, going through just any type of hardship, financial or otherwise. And so you had to kind of build up that tower to hold yourself secure while you went through that process and healed. But there's a sense now of being curious and open with the Princess of Swords, or the Page of Swords here, about maybe where you've held yourself back because of the pain of the past, and how can you really start to gain more clarity and context around the truth from the perspective you have today. There's definitely a sense of opening yourself up to a new perspective, to new information. And I think it's what's going to allow you to finally have the courage to kind of move through this moon, this indecision, and break into success and freedom from what's long held you back. Beautiful energy, Leo. There's a lot of potential here. A lot of potential and a lot of, this is the right time. You've been stuck for a long time, or you've been, maybe in a place again of healing for some time. I don't see the Four of Swords though, so I think for many of you it's just kind of, you probably have gone through the healing in the past, and now there's like the remnants. It's like wearing a cast for too long, and it's time to take that cast off and move into success on the other side. Okay, let's see here. But there's a sense of having to really admit to yourself, with the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess, what you know in your gut you want to achieve for yourself. What you know in your gut feels like success. Okay, let's see here, Leo. Oh, I love it. Surrender to spirit. It says, once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. That's beautiful. And that does say that's a sense of surrender, right? That when we hear that call, know that when you have that strength to make that decision to face the unknown, that is when spirit comes in out of the blue and greets you with the perfect partner, greets you with the perfect business partner, greets you with the opportunity to bring your business to the next level or to share your story with others. That's the beauty of when we have that courage to surrender to that intuitive call. Okay, I'm going to pull a final card here, Leo, and then we'll wrap up your reading. Oops. Wow, well, 2 just shot out there, which is very interesting. So we have past life activation and divine talents. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, these are 2 cards I have never seen come up together, and they just shot out like that. And I think actually one of these cards actually mentions the other card in it. So this is very interesting. So we're going to talk about past life activation first. Okay, it says, you have talents within that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You have had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and the greater good. Your soul has a history of lifetimes through which it has learned to be wise and developed certain talents. You have learned lessons and acquired skills and abilities. Sometimes these were mastered through very challenging circumstances. You might feel you are obtaining mastery in certain areas again this lifetime, again through challenging circumstances. Sorry, guys, I'm going to take a sip of water here. Okay. It says, the soul can certainly develop through joy, love, and happiness, but often it is through an experience of conquering a challenge that the real gems are won for the crown of the soul. Ooh, I got a tickle in my throat and I'm yawning. Sorry, guys. It says, the oracle of past life activation comes to you when a power you developed in a past life that would be useful for you to access in your current lifetime. Perhaps this talent or ability will become the seed of a spiritual vocation for you, a skill that expands your career or brings you personal joy. The ability that surfaces from the depths of your soul will be whatever is of greatest benefit to you now. Sometimes, while a treasure is emerging from the depths of your being into consciousness, it will be coated in the pain of the past. You might notice the outer coating first, the pain of abandonment, rejection, ridicule, or shaming that perhaps resulted in the suppression or denial of that soul gift in your past life. That's definitely the Three of Swords. This may be the reason you have not incarnated with it fully awakened and at your immediate disposal. You have to allow it to rise up to you, and you need to dig a little to crack open the coating of a wound and free the treasure that temporarily became trapped in that pain. When you release the pain, you free the treasure once locked within it. Perhaps your gift was challenging to a community in a past life, whereas now it would be more readily accepted because that community has matured spiritually over time. Or perhaps you have matured and now will value your gift and be open to divine guidance to show you how to use it for the greatest good this lifetime. The gift you are reviving is worthwhile. As you cleanse the memories, beliefs, or programs that once caused you to subconsciously protect yourself by hiding your talent, you will grow strong enough to process the pain and stand in the truth of your reclaimed gifts. If you have been considering a new line of work, feeling like you'd like to explore or express different talents, or have the urge to develop an interest and transform it into a vocation, you are very likely already feeling the stirrings of the past life activation now taking place for you. Trust the changes you feel. A part of your divine inheritance is being restored to you. Definitely the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I do not know why all of a sudden. Sometimes I do channel. I yawn when I channel. And I get almost kind of cold. It's a strange thing that happens to me. So there's definitely something coming through here for many of you guys. Okay, so Divine Talents, number 39. And for those of you who don't believe in past life, there can be a sense when this card comes in of almost, because it resonates, the number 35 here breaks down to the number 8 in numerology. There can be the sense of more like you have the opportunity to step into your full power in this moment. It's almost like realizing a superpower that maybe has been hidden from you. And that can be the Tower in the Wheel of Fortune. It's almost like being shoved off that cliff and realizing, oh my gosh, I can fly. And then once you realize you can fly, then it's like, oh my gosh, you're sitting with that information. You're sitting with that that excitement, and you're like, oh my God, can I be Superman? What can I do with this? Is that really even possible? So there can be a sense like that too. For those of you who don't believe maybe in a past life, it can be more that there's a sense of activating something within you that's always been there, but you weren't ready to activate it until this time. With the Magician coming in, it could definitely be kind of like your superpower and realizing that. And a lot of times that can come through having to go through heartbreak. And that's when we realize something about ourselves that could be something we teach to others, or it could lead us to a moment of inspiration where we can realize, wow, I can change the status quo. I can, invent something that people don't have to go through that, or, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. It could even be discovering that you might be the best parent that has ever been. Okay, so number 39. It says, you are a talented soul. Over many lifetimes, you have developed your spiritual abilities to channel higher awareness, attract healing energy, and radiate light to uplift the consciousness of those around you. Your divine talents are many and uniquely expressed through you. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. Divine talents are a way in which the universe reminds us of what we are here to do. Divine talents are unlimited. They include the ability to channel spiritual guidance and healing energy, to perceive clairvoyantly and be psychic and empathic. Other spiritual talents are the ability to release earthbound spirits, earth healing techniques such as working with energy grids, as well as healing ability with crystals and the many and varied technologies of light. There are other spiritual talents too. These include writing, performing, sound healing, dancing to awaken awareness, creating art, photography, or divinely inspired tools and jewelry. Cooking food that heals body and spirit is a spiritual talent, as are the abilities to bring people together, to offer comforting and inspiring words at the right time, to help others overcome fear and feel more at peace in moments of importance, and more. You could use your divine talents in your career as a healer, in your work in the corporate world, or in your stay-at-home role as a parent, helping to raise more conscious, secure, and empowered children. In a world that is in desperate need of strong, spiritually grounded leaders for the future. You can use your talents to create a vocation that truly inspires you and brings your light to the world. You can use them in the line at the grocery store. The point is that you use them. This oracle comes to you with a message. You have spiritual talents, some of which have been developed in other lifetimes and will simply and suddenly spring back to life, as if from out of the blue this lifetime. Others need a little more attention, patience, and effort to be brought to life in the world. This is particularly the case for you at this time if you've also drawn or are also attracted to read the message now, the Oracle of Past Life Activation. Very interesting. So that says others need a little more attention, patience, and effort to be brought to life in the world. So there's a sense here with that Queen of Pentacles, that is the patience and the effort. And just like what I was saying, there's that sense of anything worth having is worth doing well, or taking the time to make sure that it comes into your life in the right way. And I think for many of you, you're realizing that now, that there has been a long journey to get to this point, and you're going to appreciate whatever this is and the unlocking of your divine talents at this time when maybe you weren't able to previously. It says, sometimes there is a fear in sharing talents. You may have a subconscious or a very conscious past life recollection that involved shame, isolation, ridicule, fear, or even torture or death as a response to your sharing your talents for healing and helping others. Maybe you fear your spiritual talent will not allow you to meet your material needs, or that others will reject or deny your talent, even if you know it to be authentic and helpful. Or perhaps you need to acknowledge your talents yourself. Believe in yourself and your abilities and in your capacity to use those talents in a constructive, healing way. Keep developing your talents until your own unique expression comes to life. Don't give up in the early and possibly awkward stages, dismissing your abilities as less than those of another. Trust that there is something very real and worthwhile in you. Do not dismiss or diminish your potential. Treat yourself as an investment worthy of development. Give yourself a chance, enough time, attention, and practice to discover what you are really capable of. The universe knows, soon you shall too. This oracle also reminds you to do what makes you happy, to chase your sacred bliss and express yourself in the world via the unique and special abilities that the divine has bestowed upon you. When you follow what you love, you are on your life path and you shall succeed, beloved. And that is exactly why the Lover's card is being highlighted front and center for you right now, Leo, is that realization that when you follow what you love, you are on your life path and you shall succeed. So I'm going to leave you with that. Follow your heart, follow what you love, follow that burning, intuitive inspiration. And the time is now, and it's being activated through a talent that is unique to you, that's ready to come out and to be shared with the world. All right, Leo, once again, if you'd like to book your own personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful month of February, and I look forward to reading for you in your next illumination reading. Bye, Leo.